Cedar Springs is the name of a house, a church, and a historic district that spans the Abbeville-Greenwood County line. We'll explore this lost patch of history next, Under the Kudzu. Located at the intersection of County Road 133 and Cedar Springs Road sits a small historic district that was important to the development of the immediate region. Cedar Springs includes the Cedar Springs ARP Church and Cemetery, a Stagecoach Inn, and the Fraser Presley House. In 1779, the United States was 3 years into the Revolutionary War. Benedict Arnold was court-martialed, Savannah was under siege, and the young U.S. Navy had suffered its worst defeat until Pearl Harbor. It was in this year that pioneer settlers in what is now rural Greenwood County formed the Cedar Springs congregation. Dr. Thomas Clark was the founding pastor and is buried in the church cemetery. In 1781, they moved to their current location and a community was born. It was comprised mostly of small farmers. A two-story brick meeting-style building was constructed for the church in 1853 and remains today as its house of worship. The church is surrounded by a cemetery with graves dating to the Revolutionary period. The development of the community naturally led to the construction of a Stagecoach Inn, a reminder of days when long trips were made by coach. Built around 1820, this inn was the final stopping place on the road to Abbeville when traveling up from Edgefield and Augusta. The inn is now a private residence. Farming in this region was difficult, and by the 19th century, most of the small farmers have been bought out by large plantations as a local wealthy planter class developed. The Fraser Presley House was built between 1852 and 1856 by Captain James Fraser and is the only surviving example of the planter class estates that once surrounded Cedar Springs. The three-story plantation house was built in the octagon style, which flourished in the United States between 1848 and 1860. This is the only one of two examples of this architectural style in South Carolina. This small historic district was added to the National Register of Historic Places in 1982 and has remained largely unchanged. To reach Cedar Springs, drive southwest through Abbeville, cross Highway 72, and continue for several miles until you see the Fraser Presley House on your left. I'm Brian Scott. Join me next week right here, Under the Kudzu.